Hi guys, it's Alia. Welcome back to my channel. So in the last video, the previous video, we started construction on our little micro mini art slash glue book. And we created like most of the cover. We glued on the inside cover, but then we had to let it dry. So I let it dry off camera, and then I also sewed around the edges. I don't know if you can see that. So now we can do the rest. And it's actually really simple, putting everything together. So I have the pages that I made sure fit inside. And sometimes you might have to trim just the edge a little bit. And I'm going to try to move in just a little bit. Well, I don't know if that's too much. Sorry. All right, let's try that. Because it's so little. Oh, so yeah. So when you fold it in half, sometimes, you know, there's the extra. And because it's so little and there's not so many pages, I just use my scissors to trim that. So let me just think, because I have to remember how I did this. Oh, I know. Okay. Before we put in the pages, before we sew it in, we need to make the little closure thing. And this is the part it's a little tricky, and I haven't got it completely down, but we're just going to kind of go for it. So the first thing I want to do is sort of fold this down a little bit. I'm going to try to fold it into thirds. It's really actually a lot harder than you think to fold material, because it's not like paper where you can just make a crease and it stays. This doesn't stay. So I'm going to try my best to do some folding. Now, the first fold that I'm going to hold down, I'm just going to hold it down with a glue stick. But the second one, because it has to be like a permanent one, I'll use the Fabri-Tac. So it is definitely a little tricky. And I'm sure there's an easier way. I just, you know me, I tend to do things a little bit difficult. All right, so let me fold this. And also I find sometimes like glued material, it doesn't always fold straight. So actually, I think you could probably iron it, like, you know, fold into thirds and then pass an iron over, and that would pretty much hold it, or at least give it the good creases that you would want. I have a big iron and I just don't feel like taking it out, but I know there's some people that have those small little irons that sit on their desk and they're so cute. So if you have one of those, you can definitely do that. I've also actually seen people do some with you know, like the hair straighteners, because it's more portable than a big iron. Maybe I could do that too. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to do my best here to, oh, come on. Okay, I'm running one bead of glue down, and then I'm just going to use my little pink finger to spread it out a little bit. And I might trim it down anyway, just because I don't know if it is going all the way to the edge or not. So, and now, see, this is the part I struggle with. Let me see. Okay. If I can get like one thing started, then, and the nice thing about Fabri-Tac, it does grab quickly. So, all right. And, you know, again, this is not perfect, but we do our best. Okay, so, and obviously we're not going to need something that is this long. So what I'm going to probably do is, I think we were going to use this as the front. To also make sure, hold on. Okay. It's a little on the thin side, but we're not going to worry about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit, just to make it even. And I'm going to fold it over because I want to make sure, and I don't know if you can see, I want to make sure that there's enough room to glue a little glue dot on. Velcro. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm just going to pinch it here just for a second so I know where the fold is. But now I'm going to just open it back up, and I'm just going to trim it just a little bit because I don't want kind of like the bulk of it sticking out. So just a little. And let me fold it back over and I'll show you what I mean. So see now, I don't know if you can see that. Before, when I folded it over, you could see like the little edges sticking out the side. So I just cut it down just a tad so I know that the edges will be in. And then I'm again going to use the Fabri-Tac because we want a permanent hold. And I'm going to very carefully put some glue on. Just like that. Okay. And then fold it back over. Alrighty. So now comes the little bit of a tricky part. And I am going to have to excuse myself while I sew it, but it's not going to be long because I'm just making one single line. Okay, so we have the front. Actually, we need to get our pages because we're going to measure where to sew the strap on. Okay, so I have my pages inside, and here is, it's going to be, I think like that. I like that. And then I'm just going to stretch it just a little bit. See how it has a little wiggle room? And I want to put it where I want it on the back. Okay, so now I know where I want it. I'm going to take out the pages, see? And I'm just going to make sure it's even. And I don't know if you can see or not. And this is where I sewed. I'm just going to do a single line forward and then back just to secure this on. So I do apologize. I will be right back. I'm just right over here at my sewing machine. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just sew. Okay. And I'll show you exactly what I sewed when I come back. Okay, see, that's all the sewing I did. Hopefully, you sort of heard what I was sewing. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me just show you. Let me get back over here. Cut my strings. And so, all right, let me see if I can hold this up. I basically started here. I don't know if you can see that. I went, I did the back stitch, then I went forward, and then I went all the way back just to give it a double secure, and I came here and I did a back stitch. Now, obviously, we have this part here. We don't want it, but it's really simple. All I'm going to do is just get as close as I can and just cut it off. See? There it is. All right, now let's do some sewing. We're going to sew in the little signature. I keep forgetting. I keep coming back here and I remember I'm not in camera. All right, so that's not the middle. Okay, and we're just putting it in, lining it up in the middle. And where's my little clips? Just going to clip it where I want it. So one like this and one on this side. And I've already, I'm going to use this because I think it's kind of cool and it matches. I get my, wait a minute. Oh, this one I use. Okay. And well, maybe. And it's funny, sewing small books is sometimes a little tricky because it's just so little. So let's do our best. And again, I'm not measuring. I'm just eyeballing what I believe to be the middle. And this one, we're also only going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Normally on my bigger journals, I do 5, but this is so little. And I think that the 3-hole is just fine. Okay, sorry. I'm doing my best to come back and, to try to look up in the camera, make sure that I'm still in frame. All right, so as we all know, the 3-hole pamphlet stitch is the easiest one. It's through the middle, through the top or the bottom. There's no right or wrong way. And then all the way back to the bottom hole and then back up to the middle hole. That's the easiest. Oops, if you don't get all caught up, it's the easiest. Uh-oh. There we go. All right, so I wanna, well, I'll just cut this down a little bit. We're gonna go back up through the middle and, oopsies. There we go. And pull it tight, but like gently pull it tight. Don't like rip it because we are dealing with paper and we just don't want to rip through the paper. So, alrighty, let's just make sure. And I believe everything's nice and tight. And I kind of find it harder to bind little books because everything is so little, and it's just, I don't know. It's just much more of a challenge. I love them because I love the size of little things. Anything little I really like. But little tiny books is just one of my faves. Little journals, little, I don't know. Little. All right, so now let me show you. All right, look how little this is. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. So that's what we have so far. Look at the little tiny signature inside. We have the back, and see, we cut it, but it's really not bad. As long as you get as close as you can to where the stitch is, it's fine. And now we have to put, the last part is putting on the Velcro. Let me just, sorry for the reaching. Let me just clean up a tad bit. We don't need this, or this. Alrighty. Okay. So what I do is I put the ones that you can see, I put it on the back here, and then I put the ones that are clear, this one here, that way it's not so noticeable. So first thing I'm going to do, and I'm using Fabri-Tac. They are sticky, but I don't ever trust, the stickiness if it wears out or anything. And if you sew through it, I feel like it kind of takes away some of the like little Velcro loops, so it won't hold as much. All right, so while the glue is coming down, I'm basically just going to grab a glue dot. I keep calling them glue dots. Velcro, and I'm going to just put this on. My gosh, these are really pretty sticky, but again, I don't really want to trust that. And then I'm just going to put it right where I want it, right there. And then just hold it just for a second. Okay. And I mean, this is just my personal preference. I didn't put it all the way to the edge. I have a little space, so that way when you're opening it from the front, there's like a little place that you can grab onto. I mean, of course, you could put it down even further and have more of a tab, but I just chose to do that. All right, so I'm just going to give it another second or two to dry. Take a sip of water. Okay. All right. Now, the next one we're going to have to put on is the clearer dot. And let me get a clear dot. And this one is pretty easy also. I'm going to put the dot actually on the other dot. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Hold on. Just make sure that there's enough glue. Okay, so this dot I'm going to somehow, and I always, oh man. There we go. Just put it on. So this is basically like if it's in the closed position. But, wait a minute. You know what I just did? Oh man. Oh. Wait a minute. Nope. I put it down the wrong way. Shoot. Hold on. This is the sticky side, but I put it on. Oh my, I was wondering, I'm like, why does it look weird? Oh goodness. I hope it still sticks. I think it will. Okay, there's enough here. Now, okay. Let me put it down first. Okay. Yeah, that is the sticky side. I mean, the side that's supposed to go on. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I was looking, as I was doing that, I'm like, it looks, is that right? But I was like, oh no, it's right. Yeah, right. Okay, so now I'm going to place it basically, let's see, maybe a little bit more like that. Okay, so you want to push it where you want it to go. Give it a little squeeze, and then I put my nail on top of the other one and I open it because this one hasn't really dried yet. So you don't want to just rip it off. But see, the clearer one, you can't really notice it. I hope this one's okay. I think so. All right. So that is basically it. I leave it overnight. I don't know, I was going to say open night. No, I leave it overnight open like this on my desk. Like I did all of them and I just left them all on my desk like this because I really want this to dry and this to dry. And in the morning I came back and then I closed them up. But I mean, it's so simple to do these little things and they get to be so addicting. I mean, as you can see, I've made a whole little bunch of them. And I was thinking also, you know how when you're doing bigger projects with fabric and you're cutting down it and you always have these random like pieces left over, you can, you know, they doesn't have to be the size. Say you have a bunch of strips left over that are either a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, just cater the journal size to the material strips you have. And I think it's so cool because that way you're not wasting any of the scraps and you get these cute little books, and really you can do anything you want with it. Even like on the inside, if you want to use like say small line pages, you know, that would be cute too. And then it could be like a little notebook or, you know, whatever. You could put in different types of papers. I just chose to use one sort of paper, but I mean, just like junk journals, you can use book pages, music pages, coffee dyed paper, you know, really whatever you wanted to make it, you know, to make it what you want it to do. But at least you can see the basics of putting it together. It's not very difficult. It is pretty easy. And, you know, actually, if you didn't have a sewing machine, I believe technically you could still do it. I would highly suggest use Fabri-Tac or very strong fabric glue if you're gluing everything down. And even you could use a stapler to staple this on, and you know, use a stapler, staple it right here, and then even if you want to like run lace over it to cover it up, or if you don't mind the look of a staple, you know, that would make it really secure as well. But there's so many different uses for these, and they're so cute. And then I think, well, this is my hope, because I'm gonna bring those to the craft fair, that, you know, they make great like office gifts or something. um I don't know, I mean, there's so many uses for it. Or especially during Christmas time, if you're going to the store and you're buying certain things, this, even if you don't carry a purse, this would fit in your pocket. Like literally, it would just, see how little they are? I mean, this whole thing could fit, but I mean, closed, they're so small. I just don't want to keep opening and closing it because I really want this circle to dry. But I mean, we put it together in 2 short videos. The only thing I did off camera was the sewing around the cover, but realistically, the sewing around the cover took, what, less than a minute. I just had to wait because I didn't want the glue to, you know, goop up my machine. But I mean, yeah, it's really easy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little 2-part video. And, you know, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys make one too. And I was also thinking, as I was gluing down all this junk mail that people get, you could cut this down to use as the covers as well and just cover those. So then you're also upcycling or recycling your junk mail. So there's so many possibilities. So I hope you guys try it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye. Oh, my hands looked really close. Bye-bye.